This is the Vaguely Nerdy podcast where every week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, along with our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We're your host, Cheryl.
And Jay.
Hey, I did that whole thing without looking at the notes.
Yeah.
Look at me. Okay, we got a healthy agenda today. Some chatter in the Marvel world, some more news about Prey and Predator, a movie coming out that sounds, it's a take on an old series, and the cast listing is kind of interesting. Trailer park is healthy. We not full, we not at capacity, but we kind of full here. And then Buncha Crunch is a full box. No half size Buncha Crunch box today. So let's get into our trivia for Bad Boys, the movie, like the franchise. I don't know.
This is gonna be Bad Boys,
the
franchise.
Okay.
Trivia.
I was like, did you find one specific for this movie? Because you did.
So there wasn't very much trivia for this movie, Bad Boys Ride or Die. So I just found general Bad Boys trivia, which applies to the entire franchise.
And I just realized I ran down the agenda before trivia. You were looking at me like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so are you ready?
My mind is right. Let's go.
Okay, there were two other legendary black leads that were originally intended for the role of Mike and Marcus.
Okay.
Comedians.
Okay.
Who were they?
Chris Tucker and Jamie Foxx.
One's a comedian, one's a comedy actor. Both black legends.
Okay, so...
You said Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx. It's neither one of those.
Okay, I said Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, neither one of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or Jamie Foxx.
Legends. Bernie Mac?
No.
Richard Pryor?
No, he would have been too old, I think, by this time.
Yeah, potentially. I was about to say it can't be Martin. He's in this. Legend? Can I get another clue? Are they in? Do they currently do movies now?
Yes.
Okay.
But they have both played cops in other.
Okay, so Eddie Murphy.
Yes. So Eddie Murphy is the stand-up comedian.
Okay, and the other one's just a comedic actor.
Yes.
Legend.
Yes.
Black male.
Yes.
So not a stand-up. No, Dave Chappelle does stand-up. Who's a funny actor but doesn't do stand-up?
Yeah. Legendary black.
And they're currently doing movies.
Actor that is currently still acting. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh. Who's funny?
Who's funny?
I'm trying to think of somebody recent. Have they had a movie coming out in the last couple of years?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were they in the Book of Clarence?
No.
Okay.
Legend. No legends were in the Book of Clarence.
Alfred Woodard was in the Book of Clarence.
Okay. Yes.
But she's not a black male comedian actor, so. Oh, no more. Can I phone a friend?
He's memed constantly. Or his movie.
Oh my God.
Is memed constantly.
I'm gonna hate this because I'm drawing blanks and this probably gonna be right in front of my face. Not Chris Tucker, not Chris Rock, not Dave Chappelle. I'm naming all people who are stand-up comedians.
I'm worried.
It's not Sinbad.
No.
Who do I think is? Maybe I don't think this person is funny. Maybe that's what it is. Cause I give up. Unless you're giving me another clue.
They've been in a movie with Eddie Murphy.
In a movie with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, in the last 5 years.
Oh. Was he in like Dolomite Is My Name, which I didn't see?
No. Yes.
I didn't see it, so I can't even answer because I didn't see that movie. I don't.
So they were in two movies in the last 5 years.
I don't know.
Did you giving up?
I'm giving up.
Wesley Snipes.
He's not a...
Yes, Wesley Snipes is a legendary comedy actor.
What movie was he hilarious in?
Dolomite Is My Name, which you did not see.
Which I need to see, actually, yes.
Coming to America.
Sir, this is cheating.
Then it's not cheating.
I raised the red flag.
Wesley Snipes is a legendary
we need a third
actor.
Okay, we need a third party person to tell us whether Wesley Snipes is considered a comedic actor.
Yes, Wesley Snipes is
Are we counting Tu Wong Fu too?
Actor. Yes. Okay. What was you doing? You think that was?
I don't agree.
That was a drama about the drag experience.
I don't agree that he's a comedian. I'm not saying the man ain't funny. That's why I couldn't think of. I was like, maybe I don't think he's funny because
that sucks because Wesley Snipes is hilarious.
Sure, he's a hilarious as a side, but not like. You know what? Let's get on to the episode.
All right, that is the trivia for this week. Let's get into the rest of the episode. Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so I already ran down the agenda early before Jay did trivia, so I'm just going to start us off right now.
Jungle Fever?
Was that funny, though?
Context makes it funny.
Yeah, it's funny acting. We'll put it that way.
I can't believe you don't think Wesley Snipes is funny.
He's not funny. He's just not somebody I would go comedic actor. Okay.
I would, but okay, you know.
We gonna finish the rest of the episode and decide this offline. First on the agenda, Avengers 5 chatter. So, Comic-Con's coming up. D23's coming up. I think we're gonna get a lot of rumors and announcements here shortly. One of the bits of news that came out this week was that Sean Levy was previously offered the job to direct the movie Avengers 5. Now, if that name sounds familiar, he is directing Deadpool, which is about to come out. And apparently because he was directing Deadpool and Wolverine and Stranger Things, he initially said, no, thank you. But since everything got delayed due to the strikes, Disney's fault they were part of that. Now he's back in contention since now they have a schedule which can accommodate him.
Yeah.
Now he is not the only director in the running. I'm curious to who else is on that list, but we'll probably never know. Or somebody's going to leak it after the fact. There is a version of the script that is complete that has been given to Sean to look at. He must like it if he's still on board. The Loki creator, Michael Waldron, is the one who has done the script for Avenger 5. And I'm sure it's just a draft. I'm sure they're going to tweak it and, add some bits and pieces, remove some bits and pieces. But another thing that came out about Avengers 5, which I think this is more in the speculation realm of news, 60 MCU characters are speculated to make an appearance in the movie. 60
That's not hard to do. They don't all have to be significant characters.
Is it gonna be like
They could. It could. 10 of them could be. 30 of them could be background variants. This is vague.
Okay, I was like, there's too much.
It doesn't. I'm not reading that as there are 60 individuals with speaking lines who we all will recognize in the MCU.
So you just say the credits gonna be long. That's all.
Yeah, Howard the Duck is gonna be one of 60 in the background.
I like that more than what I took it as, like 60. No. It's just it. Many of the characters they say in the film will have equal footing. Now, many quote unquote could be 6 or 10. Yeah. I don't know what many means, but they say many of the characters will have equal footing in this next movie, making it more of an ensemble feature instead of a handful of characters leading the team. I don't even know what that means.
That doesn't mean that, because that was Infinity War.
Exactly.
Endgame was a handful of people leading the team because you dusted everybody. But Infinity War was everybody had equal footing. So.
Well, all the Avengers, would you not agree that everybody had equal footing?
I feel like the rest of the Avengers films are just those 5 handful of people.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And so what would you say would be the version of an ensemble feature then?
Infinity War.
Okay, where it's a bigger cast. Because it wasn't
just Avengers in Infinity War. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like everybody in Infinity War had equal footing.
Fair enough.
And it didn't feel like... That was the only Avengers film that didn't feel like it was the core 5 leading everything.
Okay, yeah. I agree. So it sounds like they're going more of the ensemble. So Infinity War versus handful, like all the other Avengers. Yeah, I'm cool with either. Just don't be smashing in 60 people just to meet some sort of wild, crazy cameo quota.
Yeah, I'll need to see Deadpool and Wolverine. I feel confident about Sean Levy.
Yeah.
Sean Levy's filmography includes Real Steel 2, Night at the Museum, which was good.
Okay.
Free Guy, which we enjoyed.
We liked Free Guy quite a bit.
And then everything else is just there was Cheaper by the Dozen in 2003.
Oh, wait,
Steve
2000.
Martin.
Okay. I think that one was the good one. I was thinking of the one with Scrubs and Gabrielle Union that came and went.
I don't know who did that one. That was on Netflix, though.
We don't need to.
But yeah, I mean, every time they talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, Kevin Feige's like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. This is the best thing we've ever done. And he said the exact same thing about Eternals.
He has to. It's his job.
I mean, he has to. So
he better.
Them being like, we're just going to bank this. I feel like every time they hire a director to make an MCU or comic book film, and then before the film comes out, it sounds like the film is going to be good. They're already tagging that director to another project.
Oh,
they did the exact same thing with the director for Flash.
You're right.
And they gave him the Batman. They were like,
Brave and the Bold.
The Flash is the best screen-tested film that WB has ever produced. It's got the highest insider reception. And then before anybody saw the Flash, they were already saying
Tom Cruise said it was the best movie he'd ever seen.
They were already saying Andy Muschietti is been greenlit to do Brave and the Bold because everybody internally likes the Flash so much. And then the Flash made no money.
It was not well received.
And now they're not talking about Batman at all. So we'll see.
They need to get Superman out before you start talking about Batman.
We'll see if Deadpool and Wolverine meets Kevin's expectations that he keeps hidden from everybody else.
Well, not just that,
or Disney's.
Or audience.
The greater Disney.
Not just Kevin, not just Disney, but the audience.
And we'll see if the Sean Levy news sticks.
We'll see. I want to know who else is on the list. Just share the list with everybody.
Yeah, also that.
Who else is on?
Because I'm interested to see who else was on the list.
Mm-hmm. And they obviously are not just handing it over to him. So he got some competition.
Because I can't believe it's just a list full of unqualified people and then Sean Levy. So who are y'all going to give it to before Sean Levy?
Well, who are they going to give it to when he said no?
Yeah, because his filmography is not bad, but his filmography is just not like, ooh, ah. So
yeah. We'll like you said,
who else was on the list?
Is on the list. Don't say was, because there's still a competition going. Yeah. So I would like to see may the best man or woman win.
In other rumors, Jordan Peele is rumored to have met with Marvel Studios for an X-Men movie that didn't work out. But
so they say. You believe it or not?
Do I believe Jordan Peele met with Disney about an X-Men? No.
You don't believe it?
No, you know what? I believe Disney called. I believe Jordan took the call with no intentions of taking it, just because he wanted to give them pitch something outlandish.
Okay.
And then he did it, and they said no, and he said, "I just honestly just wanted to come in here and tell y'all like some crazy idea I have for an X-Men movie."
I'm not mad. If this were true, I'm not mad that Jordan was like, "No, thank you," because.
He reminds me of...
What would he do?
He reminds me of Monk from American Fiction, where I think he knew he had no interest in it, but he wanted to pitch something crazy just to see what they would say.
Listen, they could do...
And it didn't work out this time?
I could see a special presentation by Jordan Peele for Marvel.
Not for X-Men.
No, not X-Men, but anything else.
He needs someone like dark subject matter.
They got plenty of that.
Yeah.
Give him Moon Knight.
Yeah.
He would fit that. Yeah. He would fit that. But okay, I don't know if I believe it 100%. I don't know if I believe the X-Men part, but I believe he got a phone call.
I don't believe they would give him X-Men.
No. Moving on to more concrete news and not just a bunch of rumors and speculation. We got more information about Prey and Predator. So question for you, are they always conjoined, Prey and Predator? Are they ever been mentioned separately? I feel like you always... Not you, but people always mention either Prey and Predator together like they are a unit.
It's part of the same franchise.
Okay.
Prey it's the Predator franchise. Oh. Prey is the prequel that takes place in the very beginning of the timeline. They added it to the front.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm back. So the Prey sequel is still in early development. So Prey came out during COVID time. They released it straight to Hulu. It was actually really good. It
was very good.
So we recommend going to go see that. Prey lead Amber Midthunder potentially is returning to do Prey 2, but she's not officially attached. Now, something that is interesting about this is that typically for these movies, the main character doesn't come back to do the next one. And I don't know if that's on purpose or whether that's just how the movies play out.
Right, because the Predators aren't vindictive.
Okay.
They do it for it's not even for sport, really.
It's like a tradition of some sort,
it's
right?
like their rite of passage.
Okay.
When they're predators, I really wish I could remember the name of them. It's something weird that nobody can pronounce correctly.
Predator
anyway.
dudes dies.
They do it as a rite of passage for coming of age.
Okay.
And that's where they officially get like their
stamp of approval.
Their marking on their helmet to show that that's for xenomorphs.
Uh-oh. We're getting our franchises confused.
No, so yeah. Predators do hunt for sport.
Oh.
It's the xenomorph where it's a rite of passage.
Oh, okay.
They hunt xenomorphs too, but for humans, it's just for sport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if she does sign on to do this one, that would be the first time they've used the same person for 2 movies. But hopefully she comes back. Although I wonder what the plot would be if we're using, like, if we haven't jumped a big, because her movie takes place in like the 1700s or something.
Yeah. She's the first character to ever come back in a Predator movie, if she does come back, but she's not the first character in Predator movies to have survived one of these. Because Lawrence Fishburne survived one. Okay. But he wasn't in a previous film, and they kind of just threw his character in there.
Gotcha.
Adrian Brody survived.
Sanaa
Lathan's character survived in Alien versus just like Amber Midthunder. She they kind of like left her alone because she
right. Oh, you know what? I did all that. Is Prey and Predator the same? And you know what I was thinking about?
What?
Alien and Predator.
I mean, they're technically the same franchise now,
okay,
too.
That's why I was kind of like
they crowned Sanaa Lathan. Well, they gave her their honorary spear for helping them kill one of the xenomorphs.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I was like, why are these the same? But what I was thinking of was Alien, which it sounds like kind of they in the same home, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be interesting. I would see it. Prey was good. It ended on a cliffhanger that even though she had killed the Predator,
right,
there were other ships that were incoming.
Yes. So. And you have to think this is so far in the past that of course that they had to keep coming because that's how we got the more future movies.
Right. So I'm interested in why she would come back. The reason they don't bring the characters back is because
they've already done the thing. Yeah,
it's like an honor. It's like a duel. It's like a thing of honor. So if you win, they don't come back and bother you. They just let you go.
But I liked her, so I guess that's why I would be like,
yeah, I liked her.
Sure,
absolutely.
Do another one with her.
There's going to be another Predator standalone movie coming along with Elle Fanning, the younger sister of Dakota Fanning, set to star. She previously.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Is that why they look so much alike?
Yes. There's not that many Fannings.
Had no idea. Oh, keep going.
So she previously starred in Maleficent 1 and 2 as the daughter and princess.
That's what I know her from.
The previously announced that Prey director Dan Trachtenberg will direct this movie as well, and he also will co-write the script. I think that's cool. I also think it's cool that the spinoffs are doing female characters. I mean,
agree.
We've had like 5 or more Predator movies.
I think there's 7.
And then if you count the ones that they appear in Alien, if they're not already in that count, they're all
so
like,
maybe it does.
They're all like male-led commando films. Seeing I mean, yeah, they can do that because Alien was like helmed by Sigourney Weaver, and
correct.
she ain't need no help from nobody. So,
none.
Yeah, so
none.
This works.
Very much so. Very much so. I'm just mind blown that they related, but I was like, why she look like somebody else?
Yeah.
I like her though. I like her in Maleficent.
Yeah, she was good.
We'll keep our eyes on this and let you guys know any more developments.
Yeah.
Okay, so one series that's coming up on Netflix is called 4 Seasons. That might sound familiar to some, but let me read it off. It's going to star Coma Domingo, and Tina Fey and Steve Carell were already 2 people that were announced in this cast. It is based off the original film from 1981. So this is it's kind of giving a War of the Roses, how they're redoing that.
Okay.
Starring Alan Alda and Carol Burnett. So any fans of those, y'all probably like, that sounds familiar. It's because it is. It is based on a film. 3 married couples take vacations together each season. So summer, spring, winter, fall. But things are thrown for a loop when one of the husbands leaves his wives and begins to bring a younger woman with them. Now, I knew that 4 Seasons was like a thing, but I didn't know what it was about. It actually sounds pretty interesting.
Is it a comedy?
It's supposed to be like a comedy drama. So what happens is, as is described, these three couples go on a vacation house every season.
Okay.
But each season, something jumps off. And I don't want to spoil it because I don't know if they're going to keep it or change this new rendition.
Okay.
But it actually doesn't sound bad. Like, it sounds pretty interesting.
The cast is fun, so.
It's giving Why Did I Get Married? But yeah, it's if you read it, it kind of gives Why Did I Get Married?
So it's Coleman Domingo going up that mountain to save his marriage.
Maybe. We don't know who else. We don't know who else is, like, who the other couples are. Like, he will obviously have to be married to somebody, but
so I'm assuming Coleman Domingo, Tina Fey, and Steve Carell are all in different relationships.
I don't know. I don't know if Tina and Steve are together, then Coleman's with somebody else, and we don't know who the last two people are, or each one of these are like one person of the couple.
Okay.
It sounds, you know.
I need a trailer.
You should go Wikipedia.
Or I just need to look up the background of this show.
Yes, read the old one, and then you'll be like, oh, you can kind of see how it will work in today's time. Now, I'm curious if they're going to change up anything, but yeah, so I'm not.
I mean, they should. It's 1981, and I don't think anybody knows what this is.
Listen, there's going to be somebody who be like, I love that movie. It's my favorite Carol Burnett production.
Yep.
So yeah, that is coming up from Netflix. It's interesting it's going to Netflix, but it kind of fits because Netflix is trying to gobble up everything that's got big name people attached. So
yeah, and it's a series. They're doing a series instead of making it a film. So
right. We'll see how it does. We'll let you know when that first trailer drops.
All right.
Now we are going to get into our first impressions for the new Star Wars series Acolyte. Now, do we want to spoil or not spoil?
We can go ahead and do non-spoiler and then spoil after.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll do that. So Disney Plus it's on Disney Plus. It is a Star Wars. The timeline is before everything, right?
I think it's at 100 years before the rise of the Empire.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we early Star Wars, not current Star Wars, I guess is the best way to put it. It reached a 4.8 million views in one day, so that currently it is the biggest Disney Plus launch of 2024. And then my mind went, what else came out this year? And I can't think of Echo. I think came out in February.
Yeah. So
and
Loki season 2
did that come out this year? Jesus, was that this year?
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, Lord. So a lot of people tuned in. And, Star Wars fandom
is Ahsoka this year?
Maybe.
Yeah. It's
probably
been a long year.
It is. I'm like,
been a long first half.
What came out before Christmas or after Christmas? I think Ahsoka was this year. So, in other words, it got a real good original debut on Disney Plus. So, I didn't even grab the cast from this, but Amanda Sandberg is the Acolyte. Mm-hmm. And there is the guy from the Netflix show where they killed each other.
Oh, Ling Jun-jae.
Thank you.
Do you want me to just do the cast? Yeah, I don't know why you're thinking off the top of your head. So
I was running with it. I was gonna go.
Amanda Sandberg plays the Acolyte, the main character. Lee Jung-jae plays Sol, who is a Jedi Master. Mm-hmm. He is originally from the Netflix show.
Yep. See, you can't remember it either. You was getting
I thought you were trying to think of who the actor was.
No,
Squid Game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't think of his name or the show.
It's been so long since that first season came out.
Right.
There are some additional characters. Charlie Barnett, who plays Yord Fandar. He is a Jedi Knight and Temple Guard. You can tell from his yellow lightsaber. The colors of the lightsabers can sometimes determine what their role is.
I thought you was going to say outfit. Because he dressed like a
Jedi. Oh, no. Yeah, he's yellow lightsaber, which is the lightsabers for Temple Guards.
Gotcha.
If you recall, at the end of Rise of Skywalker, Rey's lightsaber was yellow. So
okay.
She's going to guard a temple.
That would make sense. I'm sure that leads to her movie. Yeah. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Daphne Keene, who you may recognize from Logan.
Yes.
She plays X-23.
You're not going to recognize her in this because she's an alien.
Right. She won't recognize her in this because she is playing some type of alien. She's a half human, half feline, which I'm not sure exactly what
she looked like a cat
alien that is. But originally, this character is from Return of the Jedi.
Okay. Yeah. She kind of looked like a little cat. She's cute though.
Oh, I'm sorry, not this character. this is the same race of a character that was from Return of the Jedi. I was about to say that doesn't make sense because it's 100 years before then. So
that's okay.
Additional character casting includes Jodie Turner-Smith as Mother Anastasia, which we did not see in these first. She is not in the first 2 episodes. She is in the show, as you can see in the trailer, and also Carrie-Anne Moss, who you may know as Trinity.
You better know it's Trinity.
Yep.
So, what did you think about the first 2 episodes? Spoiler free.
Spoiler free. I thought they were fine.
I agree. I thought they were a little better than fine, but I feel like I want to know the destination, and I don't know if I'm thrilled with the journey yet.
So there are 2 parts of the mystery in this show. Mm-hmm. There is the mystery of who the Sith is.
Yes, correct. So dark side is rising, and we don't know who's behind it.
There's a mystery of who the Sith character is, who we do see.
Yeah. A little coat.
We get a glimpse of the person not in the suit, not the person under the suit.
Right.
And there's the mystery of the Acolyte, who she is, what she's doing, and why she's doing it for. And then that is already solved.
I was going to say, we get to it in the first 2 episodes.
So one of the mysteries is already solved. And I think in the first episode.
You're correct. I think before we even get to the end of the
20 minutes into the first episode, the mystery is solved, or at least for me.
Well, yeah, and I think that's why I was kind of like, I just kind of want to know how this ends, and I don't know if I'm
So now the only remaining mystery is who the Sith is. And I don't know if I'm interested in who the first Sith is. Because we know it's not Sidious, and we know it all ends with Sidious.
Yeah. I like...
we know he's not stronger than Sidious.
I'm trying to put my thoughts... I think I like the kickoff of Obi-Wan better than this.
I like the characters. I'll say
Agree.
that. I do like the characters.
I really like what's his name from Squid Game?
Lee Jong-jae.
I like Lee Jong-jae's him as a Jedi.
Oh yeah,
I really
like soul. Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot, and
absolutely.
I didn't realize that he said he took this is his first English speaking role, and you wouldn't really know that.
He also, and I think the reason I know that I like him a lot, he did some interviews where he said he took inspiration for his character from Qui-Gon Jinn.
Okay, I can see that.
Who was his favorite Jedi, and who was the character who got him interested into Star Wars.
Okay.
And I've always liked Qui-Gon Jinn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I like him. I like Amandla. The side characters. Daphne King's character is cool. She kind of adds a little bit of like relief, comedic relief, but not overly jokey. Everybody's fanning over Yord, and I'm like, Yord's just kind of there for me.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's okay.
It's good. I'll keep following it. I do think it was a choice to just throw out the answer to one of the mysteries.
Oh, you're right. Didn't save it. So I think does that wrap up our non-spoiler thoughts?
Okay, so is there anything you didn't like that's non-spoiler? Or do you want to save that for spoiler?
I would say the pacing is a little iffy. Like,
I actually didn't have an issue with the pacing.
Maybe it's not it's something about it. It don't flow as well as like another series, but I don't know what that is. So I don't have any. It's kind of like
it's a lot of characters. I'll say that.
Maybe that's what it was. And it was just kind of like,
because the other Star Wars shows that we've seen, Ahsoka didn't have that many characters.
But we already knew who Ahsoka was. These are literally all new people. And that's what it was. It was just kind of like, we jumping. It's like new person. I'm like, who are all these people? What's their name?
Non-spoiler thought about something that I liked. Fight choreo was great.
Oh, yes. I think
that was
I
one of my
notes
notes for that.
Here we go.
If the fight choreo techniques from the Matrix and the Crouching Tiger still look so good, then we should still be using them. Everything doesn't have to be CGI.
I do have my episode 1 note does say good fight scenes. Yeah. So I agree. I agree.
Like, it made me very frustrated watching Carrie-Anne Moss be able to do the Matrix style fight choreo still, and then be upset with what we got in Matrix 4.
Yeah, we
got bad wire work and choppy editing and all that, but clearly people are still able to do this. So,
well, you got to think about the people behind the Matrix 4 and the studio behind the Matrix for, and you get that result.
Yeah, they wanted the K-word their own franchise.
They did.
But
not wanted, did.
I thought the fight choreo was very good.
Agree.
There's other than that, there are no other compliments I have that we haven't given to Star Wars shows anyway, which
it looks good.
It always looks good. They put in their best work with the volume with the Star Wars shows.
I believe the costuming is the costume designer is a black woman, so
yeah, good.
Shout out to her.
Nice brown Jedi robes.
Listen, I mean they look.
It's the same.
I like the Acolyte's outfit.
Yeah,
hers is cute, and the set design looks good. Yeah.
So
anything else non-spoilery?
That's all I have non-spoiler.
Okay, now let's jump into our spoiler thoughts. For season, it don't matter, both episodes. Okay. So 2 episodes are out, so you can watch both of them right now.
Yeah. It's about an hour and a half of television total.
Exactly. Together. And I would suggest just watch both of them.
Yeah, might as well.
Get them out the way. In the first episode, there's a scene, so the big reveal at the end of the first episode is that Osha, who's the main character played by Amandla, is a twin.
Yeah, so she's playing 2 roles.
So she's playing
Osha and May.
Right. May is our acolyte. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why they told us that so fast. And I was just kind of like, oh, so what's the rest of the show about? If we already know who did it.
I don't know.
I was just kind of like, oh, well, mystery solved next episode, I guess.
The tension of the killer ran out of
immediately.
Yeah, ran right out of the door because now they very quickly identified the fact that at least Lee Jung Jae's character already knew that she was a twin. He knew.
Yes, he
that
knew
it wasn't her because he knew that she had a random twin.
I guess nobody knew that the twin was alive.
Twins are always alive.
Okay.
There's no if you don't have the corpse, if you can't point to where the corpse is, you have to assume the person.
But here was the kicker for me in episode 2 is that May, who's the acolyte, bad person, does not know that her sister is alive. And I was kind of like...
Yeah, I don't get how neither one of them know the other is alive. I can get the surviving sister not knowing that... they're both surviving sisters. I can get Osha not knowing that killer sister, May.
Right.
We're going to call her Jedi sister and killer sister.
There we go, because that's what it is.
Jedi sister not knowing killer sister is dead makes sense.
Yeah.
But dead sister...
I didn't get it.
You would think if you're dead, you're in the shadows. You would think you would be able to see everything else.
Because the acolyte obviously is being trained like by the dark side. Right. Mm-hmm. So she can fight like a Jedi. May was in Jedi school and left. We don't know exactly why she left. She said she did it on her own. But she doesn't have the training, like the full training. So she can't kick butt like her sister.
No, she can use the Force, I guess.
Can she? Because she tried to move something and it was like, no. So she gonna be a Jedi by the end.
Yeah,
obviously.
She's gonna be able.
She gonna have her own lightsaber, her own new brown robe. Yeah. She gonna be good. But I didn't understand once the reveal came out. It was just kind of like, oh, well, we know who kill her because she can't live. The sister can't survive this because another kicker of the first episode, she kills Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah, so Carrie-Anne Moss was stunt casting.
5 minutes into the first episode. And I was kind of like, oh, I bet Twitter was ablaze when this first came out.
Well, she successfully kills 2 Jedi.
Yes, and I didn't get the killing of the second one.
Well, I got the killing of the second one. So she kills Carrie-Anne Moss. Mm-hmm. We don't have an answer for why. That's the opening sequences, the fight scene.
Something happened on the home planet.
That they released on Twitter. Mm-hmm. According to Sol, the Jedi Master, who raised Jedi's twin,
May,
Jedi sister,
Osha.
The rebels did something on their planet that ignited a fire that killed a lot of people in their home planet. However,
including the twins' family.
We're not sure because Osha wants revenge against her sister because according to Osha, the sister is who
started
got the family killed.
Right.
But we don't know if that means the sister started a fire just because the sister started a fire, or did the sister start a fire? Was the sister part of the rebellion?
Well, and that's why I said
because the Jedi are blaming the rebellion.
But she was a kid.
And
how's she gonna be a part of rebellion? She like 5.
And then when we see May go kill the second Jedi Master,
right?
he willingly takes the poison because he apologized to her, asking for her forgiveness because he thought that they were doing the right thing. But we don't know what he did.
We don't know what the thing is.
We don't know who started the fire. We don't know who did what on the planet, technically.
And why? Yeah, that's why I'm like, I just want to know the end. I don't know if and I don't believe a Jedi would poison himself. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Has that happened before?
Yeah, no, because the thing about Jedi is you always make bad decisions. But the thing with Jedi is they don't take responsibility for their actions. So him killing himself is, that's
I was absurd. Like, he's not doing that. He just gonna live with it, which is what he was already doing.
Yeah, the Jedi still have not fully come to terms with the fact that Darth Vader was their fault.
Right.
They still kind of avoid the question.
This is probably where it all started.
So this
perhaps.
Jedi taking responsibility for whatever he did in the past does not fall in line with the handbook.
It wasn't.
This it's 100 years before, so the rules are different.
There was no handbook yet, I guess.
The show is good. The acting is good. The characters are good. It looks good. It looks like a Star Wars show.
It looks like a Mando or Obi-Wan for sure. Yep.
I think the difference between this and like MCU shows is that they all start to have a look. MCU shows start to have a look.
Okay.
And they don't feel like the same show, at least to me, because
like MCU shows don't.
They don't.
I would agree
because the characters are different.
Their
powers
settings.
are different. Settings are different.
Like Loki looked nothing like Miss Marvel.
But some of the Star Wars shows, at least the Jedi focused ones, are starting to look the same.
Well, yes, because they're all set on some desert planet that's got like, weird aliens and dust and CD bars.
Yeah.
They look the same.
Yeah, they're all and this one started with a CD bar. It could have been Tatooine.
Yeah, they should probably move to like a city and just stay in the city.
Or Coruscant. Go back to Coruscant.
We were there for what, a couple minutes?
Yeah, but we hadn't been back to Coruscant since like the original trilogy.
Right. Oh, look, Mando.
I'm sorry, the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, I'm saying Mando looks different, but only when he goes a lot of different places.
Yeah.
But when he's at home, wherever he considers home, it does look like the Acolyte.
Yeah.
So interesting. I will probably not watch this week to week. I'll probably wait.
I just don't think it's doing anything different.
Yeah.
And these two episodes this was a soft open.
I agree.
Like when you do a 2-episode premiere, you gotta have bangers.
Like WandaVision. When we all on the edge of our seat, like, well,
yeah, like WandaVision.
More.
Or you have to always just open with a banger. Like X-Men 97. Open with Jean Grey the real Jean Grey showing up, passing out. That was a banger. Like, you got to have an opening banger. The Boys open with a banger.
Yeah.
They just, this opening just wasn't a banger.
A little soft touch.
Nothing was banging.
Unfortunately, even though the show is the show is not terrible. It's not the best thing ever out, but it's also not it's not a bad show. It's getting review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes because the Star Wars fandom is.
But they saw that coming.
Oh God.
At this point, you don't even have to like.
It's the same thing they did with Moses Ingram in Obi-Wan. It's what they're doing. At this point,
you don't even have to acknowledge it. Because we knew going into it was going to get review bombed. At this point, they know it's going to get review bombed from the writer's room. From the moment that they sit in the writer's room and say, okay, first female character, they know it's going to get review bombed. So
yeah, now the critics do like it though. I think it's sitting somewhere around a 90 for critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
Because that's the thing. It's got review bombed and people are calling it the worst thing ever, but it's also the most watched.
Yeah. So y'all tuned in.
Streaming debut of Disney Plus this year.
Views.
So.
Right. And so we'll see.
And in minutes. So it's not like y'all watched it, got disgusted the first 5 minutes and turned it off. Y'all
finished, you watched both episodes.
Right. You hate watched both episodes.
That fandom is a special fandom.
And they know it.
I'm just going to leave it at that for y'all try to review bomb our podcast.
Those are our initial thoughts for Acolyte episodes 1 and 2. Check them out and let us know your thoughts. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad show. I just don't know if there was no banger episode.
No. I will say
one of the two.
I want to know how it ends.
I do want to know how it ends because I do like a good mystery.
It is.
I do enjoy getting answers to unanswered questions.
Right.
I enjoy unanswered questions.
Say, are we gonna get all them answers?
But I need some.
You need a hit
oomph. You need some oomph.
And I think it's 8 episodes, and reviewers have only gotten up to the first 4. So
yeah,
we'll see.
So
we'll see.
And they gave it a 98. So maybe it's gonna be, maybe the comes in the halfway
after?
point. Which,
Okay.
I don't know. That's a lot to ask, but
It is. It is. And I'm hoping each episode is around that 30-ish minutes. I don't know, it'd be like 58 minutes.
yeah, we don't need 8 hours.
Too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
we'll let you guys know how we think about it once it's all up.
All right. So that is our first impression of the Star Wars series, The Acolyte. Let's roll into the trailer park.
Toot.
So we have a handful of trailers this week. Let's just start it off.
this is Jay's favorite movie.
The most exciting one.
He's so excited, y'all. He's so
Venom,
excited.
The Last Dance. This movie comes out in theaters October 25th, 2024. This is the third part and final of the Venom Sony trilogy. I won't say the end of the Venom franchise.
No.
And it does not look good.
It looks like a Venom movie.
Yeah. So basically the trailer shows Chiwetel Ejiofor has joined the cast.
Which I forgot about.
And the trailer opens up with him capturing the strand of Venom.
The symbiote.
Is
that what they call it?
That Tom Hardy left in the bar at the end of No Way Home. Now, the initial questions that came from that
That's not supposed to be possible.
That's not supposed to be possible because he left that symbiote in Tom Holland's universe before he got blipped back. So maybe the symbiote blipped back
Took the Greyhound.
Or maybe he dropped off another piece of symbiote. Maybe she's just dropping symbiote.
He's just drooping all over the place?
Yeah.
Gross.
Or maybe that'll be like the reveal. Because we also get in the trailer, apparently they have a lot of different symbiotes in containment.
Oh.
So maybe Eddie's just been dropping symbiote all over the place and they've just been collecting them.
We've just noticed that 3 movies.
Because Chiwetel Ejiofor works for some type of organization that's been collecting the symbiotes and trying to keep it hidden.
So you're saying maybe we're all riled up because this might, for no reason, because this might be a symbiote that does belong in Sony Universe and not the symbiote from Marvel.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe the symbiote from Marvel is still in Marvel because I don't see them letting that go.
I don't see them not using Venom, so you're right.
And maybe he's just been
chilling, dripping all over the place.
Dripping Venom pieces at random. Because they didn't really explain how, because how did that one random piece of him just come off?
I don't know.
Without him knowing. So it doesn't look good. It looks like Eddie is back on the hunt from another organization who's trying to
kill him,
or at least capture the Venom part of him.
Right.
And it also ends with a bunch of meteors because other symbiotes from Venom's home planet are also crashing into Earth to terrorize it. Because
they found Venom or something, and they want to just take over the world like every other alien.
Well, the symbiotes survive by host, human host.
So they need some bodies.
Are the most accessible. So they need bodies.
Okay. I did not enjoy Venom 2.
No, Venom 2 wasn't good.
So it looks more like Venom 2.
It does.
And that's unfortunate.
But we'll probably see it.
We ain't got no choice. It's a Marvel.
So.
It is a superhero movie. It is a Marvel property, put it that way, from Sony Pictures. And those don't do very well at all. Madam Web. Anywho.
Next trailer on the list is an exciting one. This is Alien Romulus. This is in theaters on August 16th, 2024. We get a little more detail and synopsis with this trailer.
Yeah, we get some detail, all right. We get some aliens. We get some face huggers. We get more aliens.
Yeah.
More face huggers.
Yeah.
Hugging faces. The whole cast and crew.
So, the premise for Alien Romulus is set between the events of Alien, the first movie in 1979, and Aliens, the sequel in 1986, the year you were born.
Hey.
The story concerns a group of young space colonists who, while scavenging a derelict space station, come face to face with the most terrifying life form in space.
And it looked terrifying.
Yeah.
Like it looked like I don't like scary movies, but I like these type of horror movies because it's like based in science and aliens.
Sci-fi horror.
We need the biggest, loudest scream possible. We can hear all the screams and blood and gushing everywhere.
So I will say this is the scariest the Xenomorph has looked so far.
Even the face huggers look scary.
Cast includes Kaylee Spaney, who plays the main character, the Ripley-esque lead for this film franchise. I don't even know if this is going to be a spin-off into a separate set of sequels. I mean, I guess they don't have to because Prometheus didn't.
Right.
So Kaylee Spaney, who we just saw
Civil War.
Civil War. David Johnson, Archie Renault, Isabella Merced, who we just saw in Madam Web.
Yeah. Ooh, good. She got something good coming
She'll
out.
also be in. She's also Hawk Girl in the Superman movie, so she's good. She's set. Spike Fern and Eileen Wu. So basically, everybody except for Kaylee Spaney and Isabella Merced are probably
die?
They're gonna die.
I don't think anybody's gonna live. To be very honest,
yeah, everybody's gonna die.
I think everybody dies.
This movie takes place between the first and second Aliens. If you don't know or you didn't watch those movies, Aliens, the first one, Sigourney Weaver was a sole survivor after the xenomorph killed her crew and she blew up the ship. And the second movie picks up, I think, 50 years after she went.
Because she's waiting to get. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, she put herself in cryo sleep until somebody picked her up, and she ended up being sleep and frozen long enough for her daughter to age and die of old age. And the company had colonized the planet, the moon, that they found the alien xenomorph on. And the company had said, oh, well, you know, we've been colonized there for years and nobody's ever reported any issue. And so it must all be in your head. But in reality, they knew. The reason they sent the colonists there is because they knew the xenomorph was there and they did it to collect it and study it.
Of course, because why would we not just leave people alone?
Yeah, so by the time Sigourney Weaver and Bill Paxton and the rest of the Marines get to the planet to save the people, it's tore up. And in the trailer for Alien Romulus, you see they're in the same facility.
Now you guessed that it was going to be the team that this movie was going to be around the team that went first.
So this movie takes place. This handful of people showed up on the moon prior to Sigourney Weaver and them getting there. And they must have died because by the time Sigourney Weaver and everybody got there, then nobody was alive.
So this movie,
they also nuked that site as well. So
I was like I said, ain't nobody gonna make it out alive, but it's gonna be joyous.
Unless Kaylee Spaney survives and then leaves before.
Oh, you're right.
Ripley
She went back home.
Get there.
Fair enough.
But
you know, it'd be interesting if it's not her. It's just one of somebody else who actually makes it.
Having survivors is not on brand for the Alien franchise.
Okay. So they all gone.
I think they're dead.
It looks good though.
I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna enjoy all these people getting it.
It's lower stakes because I'm going in and I'm knowing about. It's like watching Final Destination, where it's like I don't have to be committed to any of y'all because you're gonna die
every
horribly.
Single one of you.
So you can have the same mindset watching this.
Yeah,
you're all going to die. It's just a matter of when and how.
Exactly, and that's exactly what this movie is gonna be about.
So I'm definitely gonna be seated for that. Like we said, it comes out August 16th, and we will absolutely be reviewing that for the show. Next trailer we have on the list is MaXXXine. This is a slasher that is based in the 80s time period. This comes out July 5th, 2024, so just next month.
Every time, less than a month. Every time I hear this movie's name, you know what I think of? John Legend's song MaXXXine. MaXXXine. No.
Okay. No. Okay. I wouldn't have. But,
she looks just like you, which is a funny song to say for this movie because she looks like other people in characters.
Yeah. Hey, hire us.
My mind be working.
Sponsor us.
This is the final trailer, which makes sense since this only comes out in less than 30 days. It doesn't give us too much more.
I think it spoiled it for me.
Did it really?
I've seen
Don't
Pearl
tell
and X. That's why I think it spoiled it for me.
Interesting. I was like, we get a couple new scenes, but we don't get anything. Well, what I didn't think were big reveals, but it looks like they might have dropped a little bomb in this one.
Yeah.
According to you. Oh, don't tell me.
I'm not.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they
hold it and then we're gonna see if he was right.
So the synopsis, and this is why it's important you watch the last two.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it.
The synopsis for this is that essentially there is a slasher that has some type of connection to MaXXXine.
Right. I get that part.
Either that or the killings have some type of connection to her past.
Okay, it's definitely connected to her through something she's
definitely the
done.
Sidney Prescott of the situation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Now I'm curious of what you're thinking, but I don't want to spoil it.
So I think it spoiled who the killer is.
Oh, okay.
And why.
Huh.
But I can't say because you haven't seen the other movies.
Okay, don't.
So you need to watch those other movies.
Listen, you got me watching both of these. I gotta watch Long Legs. I gotta watch Alien.
Start one.
I gotta watch. It's like 12 horror things I gotta watch in 60 days.
Start it.
I'm never gonna sleep. ever. I'm just gonna watch Lion King on repeat.
Adding to the list of things Cheryl won't get to, piece by piece.
I actually might see this.
Oh, so you'll see this.
This is cute.
There are things on your list that you haven't even gotten to.
But I'm gonna watch this.
Okay, so anyway, piece by piece, this is a Pharrell Lego movie, and it is a Pharrell biopic in Lego form that comes out on October the 11th, 2024. It essentially looks like the Lego Batman movie.
It does.
Or the Lego movie, but it's a biopic about Pharrell's life and claim to fame.
It looks cute.
Why does he have so many biopics out?
I don't know, because in our Buncha Crunch, there's more casting news about his coming of age musical that's based on his life.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I don't. It looks cute though.
Lego movies always do good.
Although I'm interested about the target audience for this though. It's not kids, right? Is it kids?
It absolutely could. Yeah, it's absolutely a family target audience.
Talking about a guy guys rise to fame in hip hop.
I mean, Pharrell's not NWA, so
you're right.
he made Happy.
He
makes
did.
Despicable Me music
he did.
now. So
no, I'm tripping.
This is his new
But Drop It Like It's
demographic.
Hot and Happy is two different songs.
Listen, Drop It Like It's Hot is a family song at this point.
It's very catchy.
They love doing it at the functions.
Love the remix too.
This looks fun. Like I said, Lego stuff in general, not just movies. Lego, stuff.
I mean, it's Lego.
There's a reason they have a license for every single property in existence.
You're right.
It's because it's Lego and everybody loves Lego.
I do like that he did a different take on it. Like, who would have thought to do a Lego version of a biopic?
Yeah, and it's interesting. This is interesting. When I hear biopics, I immediately fall asleep. But
so
this
just
was
put
fun.
all biopics in Lego form, and Jay gonna be on board.
Because you also get to be more creative. Like
you do
all of this, and it distracts you from the fact that you're watching a movie about somebody's boring life. Like the fact,
it might be very entertaining.
Biopics are all boring.
Oh my god!
I was distracted by the fact of how boring biopics are, by the fact that they gave Snoop Dogg's Lego extra long legs because he is not the same size as a regular person. So he can't just be a regular size Lego.
And the people that are the celebrities that are in this are voiced by themselves. Yeah. So Snoop is voicing himself, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Gwen Stefani. Mm-hmm. There's quite a few people in this.
Yeah, but they collected a bunch of people that he worked with and had them join the biopic as minifigures.
It's cute.
So it's cute. I'll give them that.
It's cute.
So we may check this out.
We'll see.
I may need to see more.
You need another trailer for a Lego movie.
Last trailer for a film I probably absolutely won't see is The Killer's Game. This is a movie that is surprisingly coming to theaters on September 13th, 2024. This movie stars Dave Bautista, Sophia Boutella, Terry Crews, and somebody who Cheryl left off of this.
Who?
Palm Clementif.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
The main character.
So, I mean, she made a choice to be in this movie, and I made a choice to forget that she was in this movie.
So, the plot synopsis of this film is that a veteran assassin is diagnosed with a life-threatening illness and authorizes a kill on himself. After ordering the kill, an army of former colleagues pounce, and a new piece of information comes to light. Insanity ensues.
They spoil it in the trailer, by the way.
Yeah, they spoiled
the insanity is that he got the wrong diagnosis.
It's The Last Christmas with Queen Latifah.
This premise actually doesn't sound bad on paper.
The Last Christmas was.
Right. Well, didn't have to deal with assassins trying to kill her, though.
Had to deal with cancer.
You're right, but the execution don't look good.
No.
It looks. I don't know why the blood looks like Kool-Aid.
This is a interesting film that's being released in theaters. It's absolutely a Netflix film. This is Red Notice. This is Heart of Stone.
Correct.
This isn't even Extraction.
It don't have Netflix budget. It's
not Extraction. It's very strange. Extraction, I feel like, exists in its own bubble of Netflix quality stuff that nothing else seems to come up with.
Went to theaters. Yeah. You're correct.
But they put this out.
I don't understand why the visuals look so weird. Like, why does the blood look so cheap looking?
It's CGI blood. It's fake.
John Wick blood don't look like this.
And
I don't.
Software matters.
If you're gonna take the time to put this in theater and put this this cast, these people on the cast list are known. Why would you not spend a little coin to make them look good?
I think it's a low budget film.
They look low budget,
and that's why the blood looks like that.
Oh,
but otherwise, hey, yeah, I don't know if I'm interested in this. I do find it very curious that Dave Bautista said he was stepping away from mindless roles.
This is
like
very mindless.
Drax, and then he continues to. You know what? We take the jobs that call us back. Okay,
but this call should have been hung up on.
So
click. Do not answer.
The rent is due monthly. I said this while we were watching movie trailers in the Bad Boys screening. That most celebrities rent they don't own.
Yeah,
because they move from place to place, and the rent is due every month.
This is interesting. This is interesting. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna look real quick of what this is coming out against, and maybe this is an open weekend. Because I'm just kind of like, watch the trailer for yourself because it tells the whole movie, and then you will see the fake CGI blood that bothers me.
I don't know if it's coming out. They should. I mean, why wait? Push it up. Release it the same weekend as Aliens.
Why would you do that? Why would you? You said September 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Speak No Evil and Untitled Blumhouse production. So it's open.
It's gonna get destroyed by Speak No Evil.
I mean, Beetlejuice is the weekend before, so it's gonna get destroyed by a movie that's already.
I don't think any movie's gonna make any money that month. Then.
Oh, and then the very next weekend, Transformers 1 come out, and Wolves.
Okay, so Transformers will do good. Wolves.
Yes, the movie we just talked about. Sorry. Same difference.
All right, so that is the end of our visit to the trailer park this week. Let's dive into this Buncha Crunch. First tidbit of news: Jake Gyllenhaal joins Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley in Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride, which is her take on a Frankenstein movie. Mm-hmm. Christian Bale will be playing Frankenstein, and Jessie Buckley will be playing The Bride.
Listen, if I was directing a movie and I had a brother who could act, I'd sure enough put you in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure.
All right.
He can fit. He fit this. He played creepy very well, so put him in there.
Also, in our Buncha Crunch, we have Grant Sputore, who is set to direct the next installment in the Godzilla Kong series films.
They are not waiting.
They're not. We said after, so it was funny. So when we discussed Godzilla versus Kong, the movie coming out and being so successful, when we reviewed that, we're like, oh yeah, Adam Wingard's absolutely going to come back because he made the last two films,
and this one was doing really good.
The most successful, and this one has become the most successful.
Correct.
So they're going to absolutely. He's going to want to finish his trilogy.
He said, no, thank you.
He said, I actually want to make something else first and then come back. And the studio said, well, we don't want to wait.
See you when you come back around, sir.
We'll send you a ticket to the screening.
Right. We'll see you at the premiere. Listen, I hope it's good because feels a little rushed.
It does. The director, Grant Sputore, or Sputore, however it's pronounced, sorry, Grant, no disrespect. He previously directed I Am Mother with Hilary Swank, which was received very poorly.
Oh.
So.
Well.
I believe that was the Hilary Swank assassin movie that went to Netflix.
I think you are correct.
Or no, that is The Mother. There's too many Mother
movies. That's the Jennifer Lawrence.
It went to Netflix. That's
okay. Correct. Well, he must have sold them a good. Well, they already have a script, so he must impress them somehow because these are big shoes to fill. Now, we didn't particularly love Godzilla X Kong, but a lot of people did. So he got a little pressure on his shoulders. We'll see.
Yeah. So good luck to Grant.
Good luck to us, the audience.
We'll need to see a trailer.
Right.
Knives Out 3 adds Josh Brolin and Thomas Hayden Church to the cast list. Josh Brolin is Thanos. Thomas Hayden Church is the Sandman.
So, it's Josh Brolin. He's the killer.
They're all been villains. I don't know.
He's the killer.
They've both been villains.
Remember I said it's always been like an MCU person? Now they added 2 people? It's definitely Josh Brolin.
At this point, it's not even intentional.
It's not.
You can't not cast MCU people.
You have to.
So
it's like a good luck charm.
Excited for that. I enjoy Josh Brolin and everything he's in. I don't see Thomas Hayden Church in that many things, but he was really good in No Way Home.
Yes.
In his reused scenes for The Sandman. So
good for him.
Tom Blyth and Sophie Wilde will star in the film adaptation of the video game Watch Dogs.
Yes, we previously talked about this in episode 32.
Yeah, which is interesting. So Tom Blyth, who we saw in Hunger Games.
I liked him in that.
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And Sophie Wilde, who you did not see in Talk to Me. She is the lead actress in Talk to Me.
I trust that you liked it, though.
Yeah, Talk to Me was good. Yeah, and I
trust in her then.
And it's good for her.
Yeah.
I was wondering where I was going to see her next because I feel like Talk to Me was her first big break.
Yes, and it was very well received, so good for her. Good for both of them because I liked him in Hunger Games as well.
So if you don't know, Watch Dogs is a video game that's based on a hacker. I can't think of the guy's name at the top of my head, but
Hacker Jack.
He was the protagonist in that game was not very interesting at all.
Oh, you said that in episode 32.
But he's a hacker whose niece was killed in a hit. And he is using his hacking skills to take revenge against the people who were responsible.
Okay. Interesting plot for a movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with, AI and whatnot now. I'm sure it's going to take that kind of turn.
Yeah, so definitely interested in seeing that. When you think of Watch Dogs, you want to think of like the Inception, but for technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in the game, you pretty much jump. He hacks, but the way they depict it, it's like he's moving from device to device. He's like he's moving from like one device to a different device. He's moving into a person's phone, and then he can pull like all of their data. It's like Minority Report a little bit.
Okay.
How they show it. So yeah,
Interesting.
Definitely interested to see how the visuals turn out for that. Also, Peaky Blinders film is officially in the works back at Netflix, where the show, I believe, took place.
I did not watch the show, but I know it's quite popular.
Yes. Cillian Murphy will reprise his role as Tommy Shelby in it. I believe it is about, it's about gangs.
It looked like it. Yeah. They dressed like gangs in New York.
Absolutely.
Good for Cillian.
Also, in our Buncha Crunch news, Vin Diesel says that Zach Dean will now write Fast X Part 2. We're going back to Part 2.
Sure.
And Zach has a writing credit on Fast X Part 1 and also was the writer for Tomorrow War, which premiered on Amazon, which I believe was with Star-Lord and Yvonne Strahovski, who is Miranda, who is in Mass Effect, who's one of my favorite video games.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it sounded like they couldn't find no writer, so they were like, hey, Zach, is you free?
I have thoughts about this. So
share, because I was kind of like, oh no.
And we already talked about this, but Vin Diesel said a couple weeks ago that for this next Fast X movie, they were going to take it back to LA and do a more smaller, they would tell a more street level story. And I think that's stupid. Even if it means you're going to burn more money on it that you don't get back, because you've already taken us to space.
I don't think the studio is going to give them more money is the problem.
I think that they just got to take the loss.
I think the studio's like,
they have to dip into their personal accounts then and finish this off, because there's no way that you can give the cliffhanger that you gave in the last film and then tell a street level story to follow it up.
The studio is like,
who cares?
Y'all gonna have to go to Aldi's.
Who cares what's happening on the streets? You blew up a dam and crashed a plane with Ludacris and Tyrese Sunday in it.
Listen, they was like, you're gonna have to go to Aldi's on this budget because you are out of the Trader Joe's market right now.
Poor choice. If they tell a street level story, I'll watch it.
I don't even believe him when he says that. First of all, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
They could. Yeah. How you gonna go back to the streets when Gal Gadot is arrived in a submarine to save Letty and Charlize Theron from the Arctic?
Don't know how she even know they're there.
How is she alive? How did she survive being thrown off that
747 or whatever it was?
On that 20-mile
cargo
runway.
Plane.
On that infinity runway.
I did not enjoy the last one, and it looks like I won't be enjoying this one. Shocker.
Shout out to everybody and peace and blessings.
I was going to say grace and peace.
Another Hunger Games movie is also in the works. This is based on the newly announced prequel book, Sunrise of the Reaping.
So they announced the book and then 2 hours later announced the movie.
This is the same thing they did with, well, not the same. I don't think it was the same span of time.
It was similar to the last movie,
Ballad
book
of
and movie.
Songbirds and Snakes. Right after she finished the book, they were making another movie. So I find that interesting.
Let people decide if they like the book first.
This movie will release in theaters on November the 20th, 2026.
They already have a date.
Yeah, Francis Lawrence is in talks to return to direct. I think all of that is fine. Yeah. What I do think is strange is that these keep getting movies. I mean, I guess the movies are successful.
I mean,
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes made a lot of money.
Wait till the book is out before you announce a movie, in my opinion. Let's see what the reception on the book is before we're like, yes, give it a movie.
Maybe it's a taste thing, because I don't think Hunger Games is that great.
I didn't read any.
Like, the first Hunger Games was good. The second Hunger Games was phenomenal.
I fell off after the second one, so I didn't even watch the third one.
That last one, the part 1, part 2 one.
Yep, nope.
Terrible.
I skipped out.
They were bad. I'm sorry, they weren't good. Battle of Songbirds and Snakes was pretty good.
I enjoyed it. It was 2 movies in one, but
it was 2 movies
I
in one.
enjoyed the 2 movies we got.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. So I guess that track record is enough to validate giving her a green light and
maybe they read it
for her books as soon as she
maybe
incepts the idea.
Maybe it was like in Devil's Wears Prada where Miranda got the early copy. Maybe they got the early copy of the manuscript and was like, oh, we like it. Movie.
The prequel book was announced, and the movie for the prequel book that was announced already has a release date.
Listen,
so
Hollywood don't care.
Let's hope that
don't care.
she gets the final draft in.
I hope she getting paid
in time.
Listen,
she's absolutely gonna get paid.
Hope she get right. I hope the book is done and she's not actually. I got another chapter.
They give her a bonus for rushing her.
Right. Right. Because if she I actually had one more chapter, like, no, ma'am, it's too bad. Make a part 2.
You would have thought people have learned from George R.R. Martin to let the writer finish before you adapt it, because you just don't know if you're going to reach the end before they do.
Why would you want to learn lessons, Jared? That's too much work.
Speaking of school, Quinta Brunson and Anderson.Paak will join the untitled coming-of-age musical based on the life of Pharrell Williams. This makes sense. Quinta Brunson should absolutely play some type of teacher.
Oh, she can play other stuff.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, absolutely. I think that this is good casting. Anderson.Paak.
I like Anderson.
He's worked with Pharrell on several projects, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
We said when they announced Janelle Monáe and Missy Elliott had joined the project that they were going to cast more celebrities.
You did say that. Yeah. You did say that. The more people they add, the more interested I am.
So absolutely. So this is a good idea, on par, and total approval from us. And last bit of Buncha Crunch in the bin that is not the least: Taraji P. Henson, Tiana Taylor, Glenn Turman, Sinbad, and Rockman Dunbar will star in Tyler Perry's Straw on Netflix. This is going to be a drama film that follows a single mother who faces a series of unfortunate events that lead her down an unexpected path. Now, the movie won't be good. No. Won't be well written. Won't be well shot. Won't be well made.
Gonna be
However,
wiggy.
It will trend.
Oh, yeah.
And it will get its viewership numbers.
Number 1. So 2 weeks in a row. I'm calling it now. Good for Tiana Taylor for getting more roles. Although she is also about to be in a movie with Leo and Regina. So she got something else coming. So we're fine.
Good for Taraji too.
And
absolutely.
Taraji.
We love everybody involved. Everybody, we love checks and working.
Sure, yeah.
I am not interested in the film, but I am interested in
y'all reactions.
Yes. So the discourse.
I'll be on Twitter that day reading them.
All right, so that is all of our news, Buncha Crunch, and Trailer Park Visit for the episode this week. We are going to take a short break, and then we are going to return with our movie review for the week for Bad Boys Ride or Die.
Hey. This week we watched Bad Boys Ride or Die. Not for life. Yes.
Yes.
I was like, so this movie should be called Bad Boys for Life, but it is called Bad Boys Ride or Die. It came out June 7th, 2024. It is directed by Adil and Bilal.
Yes.
I got it right. Yay. So a directing duo. They have also directed, by no surprise, the previous Bad Boys movies, Bad Boys for Life. They also directed 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, which they also executively produced. And they were also directors of the scrap DC Batgirl film, which we will unfortunately never get to see. And DC's probably going to continue to be cursed because they keep making wrong decisions. Now, y'all already going to know who in this movie, but we going to do its due diligence anyway. And I'm not going to do characters because you know who everybody is. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Vanessa Hudgens, Alexander Ludwig, who I thought was related to the producer. They're not related. I just was like, oh, small world. Nope, not that small. Okay, I'm gonna mess your name up.
Paula Nunez.
Thank you. Eric Dane, Iona Grufford.
Iona Grufford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jacob Scipio.
Scipio.
This is hilarious. Melanie Lidberg, Tasha Smith, Tiffany Haddish, Joe Pantoliano. How do you say his last name?
Pantoliano.
Thank you, Pantoliano. John Sally, DJ Khaled, and then there's a bunch. I'll say Rhea Seahorn.
I'll say she's a person.
I was like, I kept reading. I was like, I'm gonna say her name. And then everybody else after that is kind of like side characters.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was like, let me go as far as at least everybody who has speaking parts
Yeah.
in this. So that is the full list of characters. If you have not seen a previous Bad Boys movie, I'm not sure why you haven't, but you should go watch.
They're amazing.
You should go watch them. They're all good. I was not a fan of the third, but everybody else loved it. So don't.
They are R-rated family films.
No, not family films.
Yeah.
R-rated action flicks that your kids can see when they get older. Just buy it on DVD.
Family.
No, don't listen to that. This movie was 2 hours and 5 minutes, so not too long. Not, any longer would have been too long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this was the perfect time.
This is the shortest movie we've seen in a while.
And when it was over, I was like, oh, that's what that feels like.
Yeah.
Budget was $100 million. Current box office sits at $21.6 million opening day, and that includes Thursday previews. It is projected to do better than projected before at 54 to 60 million domestically and 75 million plus worldwide for opening weekend.
Good for them. We
have finally, y'all, started the summer blockbuster season. It was supposed to start with Fall Guy.
3 movies in.
Hollywood is down bad with the box office, but that's what they get for these strikes. Anywho, It is the second biggest opening for the franchise behind Bad Boys for Life. It is the it's too many words, obviously, for me today. Biggest opening day for an R-rated movie since Oppenheimer. So the numbers is numbering.
Yeah.
Ratings, cinema score, A-.
Which I just couldn't keep it consistent.
So all of the other previous Bad Boys movies have an A cinema score. And y'all ruined it. Your posters ruined it. This one has an A-, which is not bad, obviously, but
it's good.
If you have 3 other movies with an A, I feel like this one should also get an A, but they didn't poll us.
We're not going to be one of those A+ parents. Is still acceptable.
They didn't poll
fine.
us. Exactly. Anything with an A in front of it is good.
Right. This is great.
Rotten Tomatoes, critic score is a 64, which is not shocking. That means more critics that saw it liked it than not, but not a ton. Audience score is a 97, which matches
on par.
Right, which matches with the cinema score. So,
and the franchise in general. The franchise in general, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes, the critic scores are generally lower. The audience scores are always higher.
You don't go to Bad Boys for like super complex, convoluted Christopher Nolan.
I'm not going to Bad Boys for Inception style storytelling.
Right. And that's not a knock on Bad Boys. Just every movie don't need to be Inception.
Yeah.
So
every shoe's got a foot.
Exactly.
My foot likes Bad Boys.
Both my feet like Bad Boys this time. So let's summarize the plot, which you know from the trailer.
So the plot of the movie is that Captain Howard has been post-mortemly accused of working with the cartels and being a rat within the police force, because they're not the FBI.
Yes, they're
Miami PD.
Correct.
And Mike and Marcus have to work with Mike's son.
Correct.
To find the people who have framed Captain Howard and clear his name.
And clear their name too.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's Captain Howard, and by association, Mike and Marcus are also tied into the conspiracy as well.
You already knew that from the trailer.
Yeah.
Which is why we like Bad Boys, because the trailer is simple. The plot is simple and to the point. Now let's talk about actresses and actors who we enjoyed and maybe not enjoyed in this here movie.
I pretty much enjoyed all of the characters. There wasn't anybody that I was kind of just like, you know what? It's kind of like Fast and Furious, where I enjoy all of the characters they introduced in Fast and Furious.
Even Tyrese?
But, what they've done to Tyrese's character is
I don't know why they let him do that.
Miscarriage of justice.
Go ahead.
But I don't have to take characters in Bad Boys or Fast and Furious seriously. They're there to serve the purpose for the
advancement of the plot.
The thin plot that they were written into. And they will either survive or be shot. And
you're right.
There's no risk to any of that. So
there is one
I was okay with all of the characters.
Okay. There's one particular character I was like, we don't need it. Who? And that is Captain Howard's daughter. So she is Rhea Seehorn is played by she is Rhea
Seehorn.
Exactly. I'm here today, y'all. She is the U.S. Marshal. So she's a U.S. Marshal. She is not a Miami PD cop. And she also has a daughter in this movie, Callie. So we have Captain...
And she's Howard's daughter.
Yeah, so we have Captain Howard's daughter and granddaughter in this.
Yeah.
I did not particularly care for the daughter character. She was very much the opposite of Captain Howard, and I think that's why. Like, when she was in this, I thought she was going to be, like, kind of a protege to Captain Howard.
She cursed a lot. That was the only thing I noticed that she did, like, the character.
She had that one little part.
She cursed just like he
like
did.
him, but as far as her, like, storyline in this movie, I wasn't feeling it. And they honestly could have cut it and the movie would have been just same.
Who does she remind me of? She reminded me of Allison Janney's character from The Creator.
Okay.
Where you sympathize. Like that? Yeah, you sympathize with her character in The Creator because she tells a story about how her two sons were killed by the robots. Mm-hmm. But you know that she's kind of like not a bad guy, but she got like a foil. Mission. Yeah. She kind of felt like that.
Allison Janney did it better.
Allison Janney. I don't even think Allison Janney had more to do in The Creator.
She did not.
Than this, but
she was less in The Creator than
Allison Janney got the point across a lot better. Okay. I'll say that.
But that was the only one. Everybody else, I mean, Martin and Will did their thing. Yeah. Tasha Smith is a replaced Teresa Randall.
Yes.
So she did good in that. Mm-hmm. She's not in this a ton, but she had, quite a few lines. So I like Tasha Smith as Teresa Burnett. Who I didn't mind was the what are they called? The kids. Not the kids. The agents. The kid agents. That Vanessa Huggins and Alexander Ludwig. Oh. The ones I didn't like in their previous movie, I did not mind them in this. It wasn't too bad.
I didn't mind them in the previous movie, and I thought they were also fine in this.
I liked them better here. So yeah, even though we got a big cast, kind of, because, you get your side characters, you get your funny moments and all that. Everybody was cool.
But same amount of people in the last one. This movie feels like a sequel to the last one. More than it feels like a sequel to any of the other Bad Boys films. This feels like it directly follows just this most recent one. Yes. They do drop some mentions of the previous films. Mm-hmm.
We mentioned the Haitians. Parts.
We mentioned Haitians. Uh-huh. We mentioned Gabrielle Union's character gets name dropped.
Yep.
Téa Leoni's character gets name dropped. Marcus, when he's giving Mike's the speech, non-spoiler, in the beginning of the film, he talks about the prostitute that they had the quarrel with.
You're right. Okay, you're right. They did mention the first one. So those are some nice nods in the movie, for sure.
All right. Is there any other notes you want to mention before we dive into spoilers?
The way the movie was shot was really cool. So it's almost as if I blanked 3 out of my brain.
Yeah, because it looks just like 3.
The way that the angles in the movie are so we get a lot of like first person shooter angles. You get a lot of close up, and there's a ton of gunplay in this movie. So there was a lot of I really enjoyed the camera work in this one.
There is some footage on Twitter, behind the scenes footage that the Bad Boys for Life production put out.
Okay.
That
Ride or Die.
Yes, Ride or Die. Put out where Will Smith is wearing a camera rig with the gun while he's filming, so that they could film those first person POV shots of him shooting.
I like
and them throwing the gun around and,
right,
stuff
right.
like that. Yeah.
It wasn't jarring. Sometimes when they do too much camera work, it turns into shaky cam. And you're kind of like,
it also wasn't as fast paced as the trailer made it seem.
Agree.
Yeah,
which I was okay with.
The scene in the trailer where they are with the drone is spinning around while they're shooting people and the smoke bombs are going off, and it's the scene where Mike throws the gun and we follow the gun as it flies to Marcus. That scene was not as fast in the film as it was in the trailer. They sped it up in the trailer. In the film, it was kind of just like a regular
he tossed
speed.
It right. Yeah. He was like, "Here's a gun."
It was the speed of a gun if you had tossed it across the room.
Yeah, you're
right. In the trailer, it was like sped.
I wasn't let down by that. I was like, oh, that's the scene from the trailer?
It just missed the oomph because it was not as fast. It's like, this feels slower.
It feels real snappy in the trailer. And in the movie, it's just like he tossed it. White guy not knowing the wobble. That was funny. That's not a spoiler.
There's always the white guy that doesn't know the line dance.
We'll explain why he was doing the wobble in spoilers. Sure. Proper slow motion. There is a bit of slow motion in this, not a ton. but it's done correctly, which I appreciate. Because sometimes
when was that?
There's a scene at the end where a boat is coming through a building.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of like, oh, it's slow motion, but it wasn't kind of like, you know how Zack Snyder does slow motion, everything just freezes in place, and we just going slow for no reason. This is how you do slow motion, by the way, in movies like this.
Okay. Any other pre-spoiler notes?
Okay, nope, that was it.
Okay, we are going to roll into the spoiler section of our review. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the movie basically starts out with Mike getting married.
Yeah,
which was shocking.
You don't know that. So the opening scene of the movie is actually the trailer scene where Marcus goes to get the hot dogs.
Yes.
That is the opening scene of the movie.
They are running late because they're actually on their way to Mike's wedding where he is marrying his therapist.
Yes.
Which I had my first note was that Mike marrying a therapist makes sense.
See, the things behind the scenes.
And then Vanessa Hudgens' character says that actually she's his physical therapist. And my sub note is the physical therapy makes more sense for Mike. Yeah.
Because in another movie, Marcus tells Mike, you shouldn't be having sex with your therapist.
Yes.
Yeah. But this a different therapist.
This is a different therapist.
He married a new one, not the one from that scene.
Yes. And there's the whole thing about Mike always sleeps with women he works with. There was the issue with him sleeping with the prostitute that got killed in the first one. Yes. He slept with Gabrielle Union in the second one.
Which is mentioned in Marcus' speech at the wedding.
The witchy lady from the third one.
Yeah.
That he was an informant on.
Right.
And the therapist in this one. So
do you recognize the therapist from anything?
She does look very familiar.
I'm gonna give you it.
But I couldn't put her name to any. I think it was the braids kept throwing me off.
Okay, fair enough. Video game. It's a very popular video game that just came out. Won some awards. I was watching you watching somebody.
Oh, are you kidding me? Is she from Alan Wake too? She's the detective.
She's the detective at Alan. Yeah. I was like, she looked familiar to me.
Wow, she fakes.
She sounds familiar.
She fakes a really good British accent or she fakes a really good American accent.
Let's see. She's
fully American in Alan Wake.
She's British.
So she fakes a good American accent.
Yep. She was also from Power Book 2 Ghost, but we don't watch that. So she looked familiar. And I was like, she looked familiar. I don't know why. Maybe she just got a familiar face, but she's from Alan Wake too. Shout out to her.
Okay, good for her. All right. So Mike gets married to his therapist, the detective from Alan Wake.
Yep.
And Mark, which is shocking. And Marcus has a heart attack at the wedding.
Is that shocking?
Is it shocking that Mike got married?
Well, is it shocking that Marcus had a heart attack?
No, that's not shocking.
Okay,
What's not shocking is that Marcus had a heart attack because unfortunately, I feel like we're running into the section of these films where every movie is going to be about them discovering a new health issue that they have.
Yeah, because they're getting older.
Yeah.
At least it's not, I don't want to say they don't overdo it. As much. They make it funny. I'll just put it that way.
They do make it funny.
They make it funny.
They don't overdo it, but it is core to the plot. It is very central to the plot.
You're right.
And they do make a lot of jokes of it, so it is funny.
You're right.
But it did make me kind of sad because I was kind of like, is every movie going to be about them getting older?
Yeah, and what makes it
they can't just be like older superhuman people who don't have to really worry about slowing down.
No, even though this is an action movie.
Like,
right. What makes it part of the movie is that he has his heart attack, and then when he wakes up from his coma or something, Marcus is like enlightened. He's like, I've never felt better. This is the best I've ever been in. I'm like spiritually awakened.
Yeah.
I can't die.
He went, and that's one of my other notes. He visits the astral plane.
I do have a note
Black
that
Panther,
says
and he
dying
sees
was weird.
Captain Howard.
Yes, he does. He does go to the ancestral plane.
And Captain Howard tells him it's not his turn.
Yeah, he says you ain't ready yet. So when he wakes up, he's like, I can't die. And Mike is like, what are you talking about? So that was a whole back and forth, the whole movie of him saying, what would he say in the movie? I don't think I told you this. And he does that like 6 or 7 times. And he's saying something new and ridiculous that Mike's kind of like, could you shut up?
Yeah, so
it's ridiculous.
The whole movie, Marcus is kind of extra goofy because he had a near-death experience at the beginning. And he feels like he's, like Cheryl says, super enlightened.
Right.
He's seen all of their past lives. Right. He says him and Mike have always been friends.
They're soulmates.
Even though they have not even though this is them existing in this current lifetime, they've lived many lifetimes together, and in every lifetime they're companions of some sort.
A donkey and an owner.
Whether they're both animals who are best friends, or whether Marcus is the owner of a donkey whose name is Mike. It's funny. It's very funny.
It's funny how they do it, and they do it in a way where it's not overdone.
No.
So I appreciate that. It's like some running jokes can run too long and they out of breath.
Yeah.
The pacing here was good.
Yeah. So the jokes are fun. So the Captain Howard plot comes into play because McSteamy, who's Eric Dane, who plays the central villain so far in this film, has been setting up these things behind the scenes to make Captain Howard, he's been planting evidence basically on Captain Howard.
File or whatever.
Files and phones.
Digital
and
footprints.
Electronics and whatever. Yeah, he's been faking digital footprints to make it seem like he had been cooperating with the cartel basically for most of his career with Miami PD. And Mark and Marcus have taken it upon themselves, because they aren't initially made aware of the investigation until it hits the news. They're going to go rogue like they always do and solve the case themselves.
Yes, with some help this time.
But so while Marcus is dealing with the fact that he feels invincible.
It's funny, y'all. It's funny. Everything he does to prove his invincibility is quite hilarious.
Mike is grappling with the fact that he is now having panic attacks because, as far as he knows, everything he touches burns.
And he's married now. So
and now he's married and he has a loved one finally.
Right.
And he also is still in communication with his estranged son, who's an assassin. He now has things, attachments that he's worried about.
I like the flipping here. So typically in Bad Boys, it's Marcus who's very much worried about his family. And not that he's not worried in this movie, but he's very much worried about, like, I got to get to my family. I need to retire. This is killing me. And normally it's Mike that's kind of like gung-ho, let's go for it, let's do it. They do a little role reversal, and I quite like that.
Yeah, I like the fact that it was Marcus is the one we didn't have to worry about. And I like the fact that the stuff Mike was going through was stuff that Marcus had already gone through. So when Marcus was telling him he needed to get it together and snap out of it, it was extra funny. It
was very funny because he was like, I've been here, and I'm not going to die. So you need to let this go.
When Mike was having like heart-to-heart moments with his son, and Marcus, who's been a father since we've known them together, who was the one giving him the fatherly love, advice, and demonstrating how to be a proper father poorly, of course.
Right. In only
with the worst advice.
I was going to say in only ways Marcus could.
But I like the role reversal. It was fun.
It was a nice touch and unexpected.
Yeah, it's super unexpected.
Unexpected subplot, if you will.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. What we liked and what we didn't like.
You said that this was getting Fast and Furious.
The Fast and Furiousification of
there
Bad
it
Boys.
is. Not too much though. I didn't feel like it was. They got wild stunts. It's a lot of gunplay, and you pointed out that they do a lot more gunplay versus fighting. Because,
they replace the guns with cars
because they're getting older. But I liked it. I liked all. I think it was because of the angles and. I don't know. I'm a fan of gunplay these days. When you get like Boy Kills World and John Wicks and all that, I'm like, I want cool shooting now. Not cool fighting.
I mean, because the Matrix exists.
You're right.
I mean, once you set a bar,
right?
But they definitely Fast and Furiousified Bad Boys. At least to me,
just a teaspoon or so.
They've increased the cast.
They have, and I didn't mind it. So
Fast and Furious used to have like 3 characters.
You're right.
They increased the cast. Now it's an ensemble cast.
Okay, you 2 for 2.
They don't globetrot as much in this movie, but they fly around different parts of Miami all the time. So they do. They Miami trot.
Miami trot. Okay, so I'll give you 2.5.
The ensemble cast is full of younger people that are also capable.
Okay, 3.5.
And they just replaced the only thing they haven't done is gone to space, but they totally just replaced the cars in Fast and Furious with guns and Bad Boys, and they have their own Masande.
Yeah, she is not Masande because she wasn't a girl in a chair. She was a therapist in a chair.
Mike's physical therapist wife. They got them a British black girl, just like Fast and Furious did, and now whenever I see her, I think, oh, they have a Masande.
I like them both. So I like the production, the setup, the scenes, the fact that the plot is not too the plot is straightforward.
It's on rails. The movie's on rails.
You know the ending. There's some plot holes here and there.
You know the ending at the beginning.
My third note.
My second note. Yeah, my third note.
Yes,
solved it.
Exactly.
Solved the mystery.
My third note, and we are maybe 20 minutes into the, not even
as soon as a character was introduced in the film, I said immediately,
yes,
there's only one. Why are you here?
Right.
I felt like Jocelyn Hernandez when she walked. She's like, why are you here?
It was, even though the plot is thin, there's so much built around the movie in terms of action and comedy and characters. I don't mind it.
I think the fact that the comedy and the action was so good, supplemented for the fact that we know where this was going.
Correct.
The whole way through the
Correct.
film.
And the only thing the only thing I didn't like was Captain Howard's daughter subplot. Did not care.
She was just written in for it. She was a shoehorned in attempt at a redemption for Mike's son, which I don't think worked.
Oh, no.
But I think that was the whole purpose of that. They needed to give him something to do to redeem, to not kill him at the end. Spoiler alert, they didn't.
Well, they
needed a reason for him not to be shot.
You're right, because basically Mike, Marcus, and the son, whose name is, I'm blanking on, let me see what his son. Armando are all on a run now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to get back to Miami to basically clear Mike and Marcus and Captain Howard's name.
Yeah. So the reason Mike's son is here is because Mike's son can ID. He doesn't know the name of McSteamy, but he can ID him because he's seen his face.
Right.
So they have to transport Mike's son from his maximum security prison to Miami so that he can deliver a positive ID.
By himself, y'all. Just one prisoner in this plane. I was this ain't
they
real
Con
life.
Airing it to Miami.
With just one person.
With just one guy. And they just need to get him there so he can testify.
Right.
And then
that will clear everybody up.
Well, at least he's still going to go back to prison, but that would clear up Captain Howard.
And Mike is trying to get his time reduced, but then he kills somebody in jail. So it's kind of
he's still a killer. But he's also facing opposition from Rhea Seehorn's character, who is like, he killed my dad, so if I see him, I'm putting a bullet.
It's on sight.
And she tries. So
she stick to her guns, literally.
Yeah. So good on her. She picked a point on the wall and she focused on it.
Mm-hmm. And she's a U.S. Marshal, so we know she can.
And she's capable. Everybody they know is part of some form of law enforcement.
Very true. Or they're a drug dealer.
Or a drug dealer, yeah.
Right. All the returning quote-unquote characters. Fletcher is back. Although Fletcher don't make it.
Fletcher gets shot in the head.
That is one thing another thing I didn't like. They killed off Fletcher. And I was like, he's like the most innocent guy.
Yeah. So Fletcher was like one of the last ties to, I believe, the second Bad Boys, because Gabrielle Union's not coming back.
Right. No.
And they go to him because Captain Howard trusted Fletcher with basically a puzzle piece to the mystery.
Right.
Howard left clues about the evidence that he had put together against other cops that were in Miami PD that were rats, basically.
Yep.
He left that information in 2 videos. One video he had set up to automatically send to Mike and Marcus if somebody hacked into his computer, which worked when McSteamy tried to do that.
Yep, that's the video we see in the trailer.
Second piece of the video came from Fletcher, who hid it in a QR code in one of his art pieces. Yes. So when they went to go get that, of course,
QR code.
McSteamy tracked him there and killed Fletcher. But they still got the evidence.
I don't think Fletcher had to go.
He didn't have to go. And I knew it. I
thought he would make it. Or at least just be shot in the arm or something.
When they kept doing those close-up shots on his face, I was like, something's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I did not like him getting killed, and I did not like that character. But
because he was he's
a
always
comedic.
Sad when you kill the comedy relief, because
he's an innocent guy.
I thought this was a classy party.
Right,
we were having a good time.
I thought we was all laughing and kikiing. Like, why are we killing people?
You killed the comedy relief, boo.
Right. So I didn't like that. That was the other thing I did not like. I think that was it. Those were the 2 main big things I didn't like. The runtime was good.
Yeah. I don't really think I had some pacing issues with some of the time we spent with Marcus's family.
Okay. Like in the beginning.
In the beginning, when they were trying to drive home the fact that he needed to eat healthy.
Right.
I feel like that scene was a little long. Like, we get it. He needs to eat healthy. But we were there for a really long time.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah. I didn't mind the family. One of Reggie got his spotlight.
Yes.
So Reggie has a scene where they come, typical movie, the killers have now found out where the good guys live, so they try to go kidnap.
They always go after the family
and take hostages. So they send like, I don't know, 15 people to Marcus' house, and Reggie, who was a Marine, kills them all.
Yeah, because basically
John Wick style.
they hack into Marcus's ring light.
Yeah.
And see that hitmen are approaching the house. So they call Reggie and say, hey, you got incoming.
Right.
And Reggie just dives into John Wick style action.
Them all out. And it is
super good.
Glorious.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
One of the best scenes of the movie.
Great action.
Shot. Reggie didn't have maybe 10 lines from all the movies together.
Yeah.
This was his moment.
And it had a full circle moment because he also earned his respect at the end of the movie.
He did. He did.
They at the end of the movie with Reggie, they tried to do, they did a redo
of the initial
Bad
Reggie
Boys
scene.
2, where Reggie first shows up to take their daughter out. And this time they're doing it with the grill. Because Marcus is telling Mike, just because you got married don't mean that you can grill. You can grill.
You're not a grill master. You got to be earned.
You have to earn the right to work the grill.
Because he got an apron on, and Marcus is like, why you got an apron on?
So while they're debating it, Reggie shows up, and basically he intimidates them now because they saw him kill 15 people.
With one gun and one knife.
Yeah, with one gun and one knife in the house. So now Reggie pretty much calls the shots.
Reggie wanted to cook his chicken on the grill, and Reggie got to cook his chicken.
And he acts
on the grill.
He still acts politely.
And he still has the same straight face.
He still has the same straight face.
The whole time, except like the last 2 seconds on screen.
So basically, going back to the plot, like we said, it's on rails. Yeah. As soon as Mr. Fantastic, Iwan Gruffudd, is introduced. That was note number 3. Mr. Fantastic is the villain.
Mr. Fantastic is running for mayor or something. So he's at Mike's wedding. As soon as he shows up, my note says the mayor dude is the behind all this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I call him Silver Suit is the bad guy. Because he has a silver suit on like the whole movie.
And it's one of those, the Bad Boys doesn't have a cast of like a huge cast of celebrities. Like all the known people are important people.
Yes.
Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Tasha Smith. Right. She's an important person because she's Marcus's wife.
Right. John Sally.
Any named actor in here plays a part.
Right. So as soon as you saw Mr. Fantastic,
and everybody else is good. So anybody else you introduce after this is obviously a villain. Right. So as soon as Mr. Fantastic showed up, I knew that he was the bad guy.
So the short version is the mayor has been working with Miss McSteamy, and they've been the one that's been setting up cops to get killed with the cartels.
And the reason the mayor plays such a big part in this is because he is now dating Rita.
Right.
Who was Paula Nunez's character, who was Mike's love interest in the last movie.
Who is now Captain.
Who's now their boss. Right. Yeah. So she's still around. And
she is not bad in this when I thought she might have been.
And I like that. I like the fact that it could have been her because
they wrote it in a good way.
The two of them are dating and their scenes are only together.
Yes.
And whenever Mike and Marcus discover anything, they pass it to her.
Yep.
Who is a character we know, and they already planted the seeds that the people that they can't trust anybody that they know because Captain Howard knew that there were rats in the agency.
Right.
And so it could have been her.
It's a couple scenes where you're like,
she wasn't introduced into the movie where Captain Howard was killed, assassinated.
Right.
And he said, I don't know how high it goes up. So it could have been her, but it also could have been Mr. Fantastic because you are new. And
we don't trust you yet.
Just like they say in Scream, if you're not the core 4,
everybody's suspect.
Yeah, you're a suspect.
And he was suspect number 1 and she was suspect 1A.
We only trust the survivors.
Exactly.
Not the new people.
Exactly. So. But I guess I like that it wasn't her because that would have been typical. Like the woman is behind it. So it was just kind of like, I mean, the fact that the mayor candidate was behind it was also typical, but They wrote it in to where you didn't know.
Yeah, usually with the Bad Boys movies, you know everything and how it's going to play out there on a twist. So this was the first time I can think of there being like a twist where it's like, oh, she could have been the villain.
Right.
And that would have been interesting. But it wasn't. It was Mr. Fantastic. And it didn't ruin it for me. No. I knew he was going to be the villain. And I just wanted to see how we would get there.
Right.
I knew we would get there.
And spoiler, he dies.
Yeah, and I guess the twist is that he's the main villain because McSteamy is just a henchman.
That was one of my, so I guess we're in the part of what would we change about this movie. I would have added more plot to the villain because McSteamy is literally just a guy.
Or at least gave him some motivation.
Yeah, he was just kind of like, Captain Howard was going to ruin my gig, so he had to go.
Yeah, so
period.
The way the trailers play it is that you would think McSteamy had some type of personal relationship with Captain Howard, like they had a beef or something, or used to work together.
Nope.
Kind of like how in Charlie's Angels, the dude who wanted to kill Charlie used to work for him.
Yeah.
So that's why he wanted to go back and kill him. But in this, I don't even think they worked together. He just
ready to kill somebody.
He was a former military officer who got taken hostage.
And we don't know how he got
and tortured. We don't know how. They never went into detail about how he got tortured. They never even went into detail to why he flipped.
Nope. He was just bad one day.
Once he got out of capture, he just flipped, and now he was just doing bad stuff.
He decided to turn up.
The real villain was Mr. Fantastic, who was the mayor.
Yeah.
Who said...
Let's see. What was his actual title?
It says potential mayor candidate.
Okay. Gray suit.
Yeah. So we don't know who the mayor was, but he was running for mayor.
Right. He was probably bad too.
He was the main villain because he said ever since 9/11, which this is flimsy, but he said ever since 9/11, law enforcement had been working with the cartels to have the cartels watch the border and warn them about incoming foreign attacks. And in exchange, they would assist the cartels in running their successful operations within the country. That don't make no sense.
It's such a reach.
I don't know how the cartels are knowing what's going on in the Middle East, but sure. I'm not in it.
Right.
So
that ain't our area of expertise. So maybe they do know.
Maybe they do.
Like we said, we're not here for this deep plot.
Don't ask me. I don't know nothing about no terrorists.
I don't know how they work and don't want to know how they work.
But yeah, so Mr. Fantastic ended up being the main villain.
Yeah. So
that was kind of a womp. It would have been better if they had McSteamy being the main villain who had some type of personal connection with Howard to want him to ruin his character.
Kind of like in Mission Impossible, where we kind of figure out that, the new bad guy actually did have a backstory with Ethan. We just hadn't known it yet.
Yeah, because come to find out, there was no personal... The assassination of Captain Howard wasn't personal at all. He was just a cop who was...
trying to stop
the trail of their conspiracy.
Yep.
It could have been anybody.
It was anybody, because they killed multiple cops.
They killed multiple... Yeah, and then you find out that to keep this going since 9/11, they've been killing any cop who has gotten too close to it. So the stakes of the villain kind of got ruined by that. There
was some holes. As I said earlier, there was some plot holes. That was a plot hole, is that the villain was weak, essentially. It was a weak villain.
And Will Smith's son killed the Captain Howard, not because of anything that had to do with the cartels. Come to find out, they just added him to the list.
Yep, and he was at the top
at the last minute because the government wanted him killed because he was getting too close to cartel operations.
That was it.
He had no connection to the last movie whatsoever, other than the fact that he just was the captain. I didn't like that.
It was, like I said, it was a little thin in certain parts, but you're not here for chunky plots.
And the movie was still good.
It was.
And we got plenty of another Scream reference.
What?
Randy from Scream 3 when he died and he came back on video.
To
warn them about what was coming.
Yes.
That also happened here. So with Captain Howard.
Right. Well, I like the fact that it wasn't like some long drawn out video that we had to follow, and it was like I went here and I went there.
It was exposition. It wasn't a big puzzle. It was
like, 30 seconds.
We didn't have to spend the movie figuring out who the villain was.
Right.
We knew it was Eric Dane. We just needed to work. We just needed to follow them, get evidence.
To get Eric Dane.
To get him. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that we kept it tight and concise. So the 2 hours were very well spent. No filler. Everything that was there fit perfectly.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would change if you could?
No.
I don't think so.
I like the fact that the son made it, so he gets to escape on a boat at the end.
Yes.
I thought he was going to get it and be swimming with the fishes.
Which adds to the fact. So one big issue I had.
Okay, so something you would change.
That we talked about yesterday is I just found it very strange that Mike and Marcus were very there's no such thing as bad cops.
Oh, yeah, we did. Because talk about that. There's a scene where there was like, the cops are dirty in Miami, and they were like...
It would make more sense for Mike and Marcus to be like, No, the chief is not a dirty cop. The chief is one of the good ones.
Right.
But the direction they went in was, there are no dirty cops in Miami.
Sir.
Y'all,
Sirs.
I enjoy y'all, but y'all are bad cops. Like,
Right.
y'all, they mention, I mean, they're great characters and just heroes in general. The Avengers are great heroes.
And a lot of people die
Killers.
in the process.
Killers, manslaughterers at the least.
Right.
But
Sokovia Accords.
They exactly. But they drop in this movie, you know, they have this new FBI character who comes in.
Yes, who was also potentially
he's like
shown.
an antagonist, but not the villain. But he's basically like, you know, he runs down the history of the Bad Boys movies essentially by saying, you know, y'all have killed other cops before, and every time y'all are investigating something, a witness or every witness is dead.
Yeah.
We can't ask anybody questions because the only people who are left alive are y'all. So
we ain't even got the paperwork.
When his son lives at the end and the U.S. Marshal and Mike let him go, I'm like, this is why people have questions about Miami PD, because a terrorist has just disappeared under y'all watch.
Captain Howard's daughter is going to kill the son, but he saved the daughter. Yeah. So it's the granddaughter,
they shoehorned in a hero moment for him.
They did. Yeah. And sure, fine. He got to live. I certainly thought that somebody was going to put a cap in his behind. Yeah. For sure. So good for the surprise there. Because I was expecting it. I was expecting it.
But I thought it was funny when at the end when she lets him go. He's a killer.
She didn't even do convicted very well. I was like, girl, you know you're going to let that man go.
Like, you're going to let this man go? Just funny because she was like a U.S. Marshal. She was in the get-up. She had the gun. And I was not convinced that she was ready to pull the trigger. And she's
her
a US
daughter
Marshal.
Is literally begging her to not kill that man. There was no way. She was like, excuse me, daughter. Pop, pop.
Right.
Like,
she wasn't going to shoot past her.
She wasn't going to do that.
But I did think it was funny that they both let his killer son go. And then at the beginning of the movie, they're like, how dare you question the ethics of the Miami PD? It's like,
we got two cops from two different organizations.
Not saying y'all don't get results at the end.
Letting an escaped prisoner go free.
I won't call y'all crazy for being who y'all are.
Right.
If you don't call me crazy for not questioning some of the things that take place here.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. I can see that.
But still good. You have to suspend your disbelief for all Bad Boys movies. When they kill people, they're not killing good people. They're killing the worst of people. So
Hopefully.
I mean, they're dead.
Right.
So,
no takebacks.
Who would like this movie? Who would we recommend it to?
If you've seen all of the other ones, you need to go ahead and see this.
Nothing is broke here. Nothing needs to be fixed.
Nope.
It's still clearly very successful. So I don't even know if this needs our recommendation, but this is still an amazing franchise. This movie was, I wouldn't say on par. It was better than the second one.
How would you rank them? Let's rank them in the franchise.
I would say 4-2.
Oh, 4 already that high. Okay.
4-2-3-1.
Did you say 1 was less?
I would say 1 has become dated.
Oh, I'll give you
1 was very good, but now it's dated to me now.
Okay.
You know what? But unfortunately, they Fast and Furious-ified it. So that's what happens. Because now, Fast and Furious 1 is at the bottom of my Fast and Furious list.
I can't
because now it's dated. Because once you've been to space, I can't watch Fast and Furious 1 where the main plot device was they were trying to do a police bust for a guy stealing DVD players.
Yeah, you're right. It's 2 different franchises at this point. I would say 2, 4, 1, 3. So
2 is at the top.
I like 2.
2 was good. 2 was good.
Something about 2 and the addition of Gabrielle Union and like all 3 of them working together and Johnny Tapia. Yeah. I liked all that.
Yeah. It was peak R-rated family.
It
was.
It's not a family.
It is. It is about family.
Okay, fair enough. It is about family.
Like Fast and Furious. The movies are about family.
So are all them horror movies you watch with the kids just being possessed.
Those are family
killing
films.
The parents.
Those are family films.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, I would recommend this movie to everybody. Okay. I don't feel like we have to because it seems like everybody has unanimously decided that these movies are great anyway. So
they deserve all their A cinema scores.
We're falling in line with that.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite line or scene from the movie?
Ooh, this hard.
I have many, but I have one definitive one.
Okay.
And mine would be in the third act when Mike was having his last panic attack when they were going to rescue his wife.
Yes.
The daughter. from McSteamy.
Yes.
And he finally has his come to Jesus moment where he sees Captain Howard. And I guess it's kind of indicated that the reason Mike has these panic attacks is 1, because he doesn't want to lose people.
Right.
2, because he still feels like it was his responsibility that Captain Howard was killed because his son was the one who did it.
Right.
And he sees Captain Howard. Captain Howard's ghostly figure tells him that it is not true.
He like a good looking
ghost. That it was not his fault that he is dead.
Yeah.
So before Mike can snap out of it himself, Marcus has smacked him across the face several times.
Multiple times. And it is the funniest thing in the whole movie.
Because Marcus is usually the one who has to be snapped back into it. Mike is usually the one who's always together and telling Marcus to keep it and not to slip. But I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, he's literally in like deep thought, staring at the ghost Captain Howard.
And it goes on for a while.
And he's like, it's like a good 30-second situation, and Marcus slaps the mess out of Mike and takes you out of the scene, and it keeps slapping him. And then Marcus like, I get it. I got it.
And it was perfect because the scene also went on too long to where you wanted somebody to slap him across the face. And it happened right when the scene got long enough to get on your nerve. The slap came, and it was perfect.
Because he has several panic attacks in the movie, and they time him just right to where he has it at the wrong moment.
And it's genius because the best part of the movie was the slap and the irony of the fact that it was Will Smith being slapped repeatedly after the dragging of the Oscar slap. So,
they tried to say that, people don't want to support Will.
It was perfect.
We wasn't thinking about that.
It was perfect.
We was not thinking about that.
They said, we're going to take this moment and make it a highlight of this blockbuster film.
And it's literally one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah, it's great. So
and now that would be my favorite, but I had a second favorite, and that was Reggie going John Wick.
Reggie going John Wick was an amazing scene. If they hadn't done the slap afterwards, Reggie going John Wick would have been my favorite scene.
Absolutely. Both of those two scenes, top tier.
Absolutely.
Top tier.
All right. So final words about the movie and our rating.
Ooh.
This movie was great.
I loved it.
Just as great as the other films. I don't know. I can't buy a box set until they stop. Because I'm not going to buy it twice. So I need them to let me know soon.
They said they got one more.
Because I'm not going to buy the box set if you guys do another
They said they're not done. They got asked in an interview, were they ready to pass the torch? And Martin Lawrence said, my back ain't gave out yet.
I really want to get it physical, but now that I have like an actual entertainment center that people can see, I want it to match.
You want the cute box set?
I want it to be in a set.
The steel book?
It can't be in a set. I'm doing, y'all can't see my hands, but I'm doing hand motion
for
a set.
He's doing like a rectangle.
Like hand motion.
A rectangle box set.
And I need them to put out another one so that I can get the set.
That's going to be an expensive set. That's 5 movies.
I know, but I really want it.
I'm going to buy this one. But I want 2 too. I'm going to get 2 and 4.
This is an absolute physical purchase.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
100%.
What's your Nicole Kidman though?
5 Nicole Kidmans.
Oh,
I would give it 5 Nicole Kidmans. Yeah. I had a very good time. It was, I guess this is the new short, 2 hours. It's close to 2 hours you can get.
It was a good 2 hours though.
It was a good 2 hours. I checked my phone, not because it was dragging, but because I just did not know when it was going to wrap up.
I feel like I looked at my phone and it was on like 15 minutes left. And I was like, oh, we almost done.
Yeah.
This is crazy. So that's a good 2 hours spent.
Yeah.
I would say, I'm going to say 5.
5?
I'll give it 5.
Yeah.
I was going to say 4.5. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Even the little things that I would change is fine.
Everybody's giving it A's. I've always loved these movies. We're going to keep it consistent. We're going to do what you guys couldn't.
You posters should have gave us an A.
You cinema scores. If you guys couldn't give it an A and gave it an A-, we're going to supplement and give it 5 Nicole Kidmans to bring that up.
I know that's right.
Yeah. All right. So that is our review of Bad Boys. Not Ride or Die. Yes, Ride or Die. Not for
I was gonna say that's gonna get us every.
This is why if I had the box set
time,
I would know because
you ain't gonna look at the box set. You still gonna call them backwards.
What are we reviewing next week?
So we supposed to be watching the Watchers, but the reviews is looking a little dicey. So
we'll put an asterisk.
Okay. We good with it.
It could be The Watchers. You had mentioned Hitman. Hitman is getting extremely good reviews. It's also on Netflix.
For a while, we have been wanting to do a Twins Films episode. So we could also do that. We have to think on it. Mm-hmm. It'll be a surprise, guys. Just stay tuned. You'll know what's next.
It won't be Atlas, though.
Well, Atlas 2?
No.
Absolutely not.
All right. That is the end of our episode. Thanks for listening.
If you like our show, please share it.
If you like our show, please share it.
I had it up. I was ready.
You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on our website, vaguelynerdypodcast.com, where you can also leave us a nice voice message that we can play on the show if it's nice. You can also follow us on Twitter at vaguelynerdypod or on IG. No, not or, and. Both.
Doing both.
Or IG. At Vaguely Nerdy Podcast. And you can also reach us at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also, if you're listening to our podcast, you can watch our animated podcast format on our website, vaguelynerdypodcast.com, and YouTube.
We look, our facial expressions elevate the audio.
Yes. Okay, so thanks for listening, and until next time.
Peace.
Bye.